Hello guys.
Welcome back to
Two GoodBi's instead of hello.
Now on with the podcast. Episode 3, huh? You excited? You happy? You yawning?
I am yawning, sorry. I am pretty tired.
It's alright, don't worry about it. We're working relatively hard.
Obviously I've had an interview for another job and I've worked 6 days this week.
Oh God.
Yeah. And obviously next week I'll be doing another trial shift on top of my work as well. So.
God, I think you just need a long week now.
I just need to be put on Valium or something. just
straight adrenaline shot.
Coma.
So yeah, do you want to start off? I guess we got a list of things. Do you think that one will be alright? It'd be a good subject, wouldn't it? First impressions.
My first impression of you?
Or just first impressions in general, and what you think about them.
My first impression of you, very shy girl. Timid.
Timid?
Yeah, you were very timid.
Right.
But you had that kind of friendly glow to you.
Well.
Which is what my first impression was. And you spoke to me.
Did I?
Yeah, you spoke to me on the benches outside music. And in drama studios.
Alright.
We were sat on them benches. By the school.
By the wall that joins the two
Yeah.
schools. Is it bad that I can't remember the first time I met you?
I've just got a very good recall of memory.
Oh, when I think about it now, my first memory of you is with Kelly. I think it was Kelly and, our little group that we had.
Yeah.
And we was doing dares, right? And I remember you had this curly hair and these big thick glasses, right? And you were just so expressive and talkative. That's my first memory.
I've always been like that though, haven't I?
Yeah, because it used to be quite a big group in year 8. So
it did slowly die, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, definitely.
We boiled down to the final 6, I think, in year 11.
Yeah.
And that kind of got depleted quite quickly. It boiled down to the last 3, and that's me, you and Kate.
Yeah,
and Abby HP, obviously.
On occasion.
And Jess.
Yeah, on occasion. Still, good friends though. I like how it's our first impressions have leaked into school memories. I think it's quite cool, isn't it?
Well, I've got a lot of school memories, good and bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got many bad memories of our group.
No.
I think the only one would be the massive explosion of an argument we had.
When?
Over a certain member of our little friendship group.
Did we fall out?
No.
I don't think we ever properly fallen out.
No, it did create a big pressure.
A tidal wave.
Yeah. I think that's when our group really did start to show cracks.
I think it's bound to happen. When as you get older, you find out who your true friends are. I think to think back now, our school life is a perfect example of that. Because I remember being in year 7.
Do you not find that school life is very fake?
Yeah, because if you think about it, it's just a bunch of kids that are forced to go to school or share the space for 5 days, and it's
the consequence system and everything is way too overly strict. Society is never that strict on people.
I think I do believe in a consequence
system.
Yeah. But
not to the point where you're put into an isolation room.
Oh, you breathe and you get
chewing gum.
Yeah. Well, I think I wasn't a perfect student, but I don't think I ever got caught for anything. Because I remember I had suede shoes.
In year 11, I was put in isolation 13 times over the space of 6 months for stupid nitty-picky crap.
Yeah.
That that was the first time I've been put in IC for about 2 years. Was in year 11. I was put in isolation in year 9. Well,
if you think about it, the discipline system within our school, let's not mention the name of it, or anyone that went teacher-wise, or taught rather, but it did get a lot more strict.
It was like a massive shock.
Yeah.
And I think, year 11 was the big shock because teachers could speak to you the way they wanted to, and they'd think they'd expect to come back from that. And I broke that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because
science
when
being
people,
one.
when people shout at me.
Oh, you don't take shit like
I
that.
don't take shouting.
Who the fuck do you think you are talking to me like that?
Yeah, well, I have a level of respect for people.
Yeah.
And I expect that back. And if they cross that line and shout at me, they're going to get it back. I don't give a fuck who they are. what they are or who they think they are, but they're not going to do that to me.
I think it's interesting because I think my school experience is very much different to what your experience
I think
was.
I was quite isolated in school when it comes to teachers. I think there were a few teachers that didn't like me because I value my own opinion.
Well, in their eyes, I think you was very outspoken.
Yeah.
Which I think, well, if you think about it, school within its vicinity is very political in a way, and it's like
it's their way or no way.
Yeah, like the teachers will represent like government, like the government head, and us being like the citizens of it. I think if one citizen becomes very outspoken, it will cause an uproar, and a lot of other students will do the same. I think that's why they became quite strict.
Yeah.
To try and nip that in the bud.
But it didn't happen with me.
No.
Because that's how I've been brought up as a person. That's me.
Yeah.
As a person, I've always been told
to stand up.
Just say what I think and stand up for what's right.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I'm not having no person tell me that that's wrong because it's not.
Yeah.
You know, if nobody stood up and said that's wrong, do you think we'd be living in a world now to what we're living in?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, do you think, you know, if no one stood up to Hitler, that we'd be living, you know, the life that we're living now?
Well, at the end of the day, the world as it stands today is not perfect.
No, it's not perfect, but at the end of the day, Hitler's way of life was not correct at all, and it's the same in schools.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing schools to Hitler.
Yeah, it's a very,
but I'm just saying,
stretched example.
You know, politically, you stand up to what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what I think everyone's entitled to do that, whether you're in a school, workplace, or in your home.
See, my experience is very different. I got along with a lot of teachers. In year 11, I don't think I got attention at all, and I don't know why, because I wasn't the best student. Because obviously
you were like me, just not as outspoken as me.
No, I was outspoken, but in the right way, if you get me, to the right people. Like I got pulled aside for suede shoes. I wore the same shoes as one girl in our year. She got placed into IC.
On several occasions for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
I remember right.
A pair of suede brogues, and I got pulled aside, and they asked me what material the shoes were, and I came straight about it. I said, these are suede shoes, and they asked me, do I know that I can't have them? I just turned around and went, no, I didn't know that. They went, okay, just remember next time. I was thinking next time I buy another pair of shoes or what, and that was at the start of the year, and they noticed my shoes and stuff, and they didn't say a word about it, and I don't know why.
But the specification used to be black shoes.
Yeah.
It never, you know, obviously not trainers, but it never specified not to have suede until year 11.
I think suede because they wanted black leather or fake leather or whatever, obviously for the weather.
Would you put that into law, which is what they were doing?
Yeah,
more or less.
I think they were just trying to be as strict as they can be.
I think they were trying to play God a little bit.
Mm.
And I think, you know, a lot of these academies are under scrutiny at the moment for their isolation procedures of sitting people into almost cabinets.
Yeah.
And they sit there all day doing nothing.
Well, I jokingly said to my teacher, the same teacher that pulled me aside for suede shoes, and I said to her, jokingly, I said, I wish I was in IC. She said, why? I said, well, I could easily catch up my work. She went, oh, okay. But yeah, I think, let's move on from the negative side of school life. I think school life in general, for me, I enjoyed it. I've got the best memories.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't have met you, Baba, if we didn't go to school.
School taught me a hard lesson.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone's nice.
Yeah.
But not everyone's nasty.
Mm.
And some people, you don't speak to them at all.
I think really...
That's just life in general.
To break it down, I think school is almost...
It's a social experiment, I think.
No, I feel like it's like mini... I don't know how to put it. You have your cliques. Like you got the popular group, you got the gamers, or you got the quote-unquote nerds, or whatever you want to put it. And then it's like
Where would
different...
you put us?
I don't fucking know. I think we were just drifters. We spoke to everyone. So I spoke to people that were in different cliques.
Yeah, I did. I spoke to some of the really popular girls and stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously my home kind of group was you and
Yeah,
my friends.
I don't know what our group was. Maybe it was just the miscellaneous group.
We're
to be
probably
honest.
the misfits.
Oh my god, we were the misfits. Oh, how cool.
Because then you had the really quiet group, didn't you?
Yeah, the very quiet group.
Which was, they were quiet, and then there's the ones that didn't fit in with the other stereotypical groups.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we were misfits.
Yeah.
So I don't know because we did go to different groups. We didn't stay in one little clique. And I think that's pretty cool.
Did you notice, though, in school, the further we got in, that social media become more of an issue?
Well, yeah, because I remember, I think I didn't start using social... Well, obviously, I was 13, I got Facebook. But it wasn't until, I've got to say, I think I was 15 or 16, before I got into, like, Instagram and stuff like that. And then you start to become, I think, through social media and obviously being a teenager and very sensitive to what you see, I feel like you see a lot of stuff on social media and sometimes you compare it to yourself.
Yeah, you put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah, and obviously already being in school, there is a lot of social pressure within that vicinity that you just put like...
I found that social media in school spreaded a lot of problems
that's another
quickly.
Thing. Yeah.
I had an issue with someone from school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she spreaded loads of stuff about me everywhere.
Yeah.
And it got to the stage where she kept taunting me.
Yeah.
In school. I absolutely exploded in her face the last time she did it. And one of the teachers just locked me in a room. And I was just absolutely going nuts, I was going. And she got put in IC for the stuff that she said about me.
I think other things as well, obviously, like I said, cyberbullying as well.
Yeah.
You don't really see... I found that I didn't really find bullying within school anymore. It was more based on social media. If there was any bullying, it would be based on social media.
Yeah, I think I got it quite a lot on both during my time in school.
Why do you think you got bullied?
Well, I did, didn't I?
What?
One particular person thought, taunted me for a good 3 years.
Mm.
But yeah, it was all sorts. I had people comment on my appearance.
Yeah.
Who I was as a person. I had a lot of pressure about my sexuality.
Yeah.
Because they wanted me to say it, but I wasn't ready. And it was just pressure. I was pressured into saying it, really.
Yeah. I don't believe in that. I think that's why I wasn't... I knew what sexuality I was during school. I knew at a very young age I knew that I wasn't straight. I started to understand the term bisexuality, and that's what I identify with, and I still do today.
You say I don't like that term, identify.
I know, it just feels like you have to put yourself into a category.
Yeah, it's like, you say identity, but identity means who you are as a person. And I don't think sexuality or gender or anything else is an identity. It's just part of you.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess socially everyone wants to... It's not a grey scale, but everyone wants to place people into categories.
Yeah. It's too textbook. Life isn't textbook.
Yeah. I think the use of categories helps people understand a bit better. But I know that some people don't want to place themselves into categories. But if I was to place myself into categories, because I would put myself as bisexual, because I do feel that I have an attraction to male and female genders. But obviously, some people don't place themselves.
And, a lot of the time, as you get older, that might change.
Yeah.
Because not everything's set in stone. I don't believe that, everything's set in stone.
Yeah,
It's
everyone develops and grows. Everyone changes.
I don't think you would ever lose the attraction for men or women.
Mm.
I think over time you start to create a preference.
I think that goes into the idea that a lot of people say that bisexuality isn't real because they see it as like a transitional way to say that they're gay.
Yeah.
And which I don't believe. I think that's I think that's quite a bad thing to say, because it's like, I understand that people in the past, obviously it's not fake, but people have used bisexuality as an easier way to come out to their parents.
Because it softens the blow.
It softens the blow, yeah. But I don't believe that people shouldn't believe that bisexuality isn't an actual sexuality.
And it's a joke.
Yeah. I don't think any sexuality is a joke. At the end of the day, I don't really care about sexuality.
Yeah,
I do care about sexuality.
It's just a thing of life, isn't it?
At the end of the day, I think as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter who you lie next to.
You said this the other day, didn't you? Why can't people come home with who they want?
Exactly.
And not come out?
Exactly. It doesn't matter who you decide to lay next to at night.
No.
I don't believe that a straight person has a different lifestyle towards a gay person. No. I don't. I like I was saying to you the other day, because we got into a quite deep conversation about it.
It's with your parents as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't understand. I guess out of respect, and obviously if people didn't know what your sexuality was, but I don't understand why, or the need to come out, I guess.
What? And I was speaking to somebody in a nightclub the other day.
Yeah.
And they have only recently come out as gay.
Yeah.
And he was in his early 40s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because he was brought up in an era where that was totally unacceptable.
Yeah.
Because his parents are they were not of an era where it was accepted anyway.
Yeah.
But his parents were fine with it. He was shocked that they were fine with it.
Yeah.
But his brother still doesn't know. And he said the scariest thing is he's come out to his parents.
Yeah.
But he said the scariest thing is he's actually getting into a relationship. Because then it becomes reality.
What, for him or his parents?
For his parents.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I think we're quite lucky as people.
I think, yeah, definitely our generation.
Our generation.
Very, very lucky.
We have got it so easy compared to them.
Yeah.
I'm saying that lightly, so easy, because everyone has their own.
Well, obviously there is still people who, I guess,
most of our generation will not have to deal with the
trauma.
Prejudice.
Yeah.
That guy had to deal with.
Yeah.
And he had to hide himself for so long.
Mm.
You know, and he could have lost his chance of finding that person.
Yeah.
It is quite sad, really.
We have to thank for the people who have gone and forth through the trauma and the turmoil of coming out, being like very proud and trying to communicate that no, we are not different. No, we are not a sin. And I think so. I think we take it.
I had this conversation with somebody the other day. They're quite religious, and they believe that our sexuality is based on sins that our parents, and it's the way of God punishing them. But I said, but then again, the Bible stating that it's an abomination for same-sex relationships.
Does it say that in the Bible?
Yeah, it says it's an abomination. So why would they do that to somebody else? Because two wrongs don't make a right.
But at the end of the day, doesn't the Bible, I guess it is a very, very controversial subject.
Yeah, it's preaching love, but it's also preaching hatred towards minority people. And society has stated for a very long time that hatred towards minority groups is not acceptable. So why is it any different for sexuality? It shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't. At the end of the day...
And I do not know why or how religion can get away with that. If we slated a religion, we would have the law thrown at us.
Yeah. Well, in today's society, if a gay person in this country, obviously different countries, they are still a bit behind, to say the very least, that if someone casts hate, whether you're straight or gay, or anything,
any kind of race, anything,
any sexuality, any race,
religion,
you will get done for being broadcasting hate.
Yeah, it's hate crime.
Yeah.
It's inflicting damage, not only on that person, but on society as a whole.
Yeah.
It's creating a new norm.
Yeah.
Because in the 1960s, the norm is that black people couldn't sit down on a bus.
Mm.
And the new norm now is to go down the road and, insult a gay person.
Yeah.
When is it going to come to an end?
I know, yeah. But if you think about it, if you compare, 1919 to 2019, with that 100-year difference, race, religion and sexuality has come a long way. So do you think
I think religion is still one of them ones that is still causing an issue.
Okay, let's drop religion then. Let's say, obviously race and sexuality has come a long way in 100 years. Can you imagine how much we've developed in the next 100 years?
Or even
what do you think
the next 20 years?
Yeah, exactly. Well, even within the last 5 or 10 years almost.
Well, yeah, the last 10 years we've had so many rights, it's unbelievable. We've got the right,
I don't know if it's for me, but I feel exactly. Past 10 years, obviously the rights and everything. I've lost what I was going to say.
Did you know in America there's over 20 states that can still sack somebody for being homosexual? I come across this article the other day, and this is a new subject that we'll be doing every week.
Yes.
Is articles.
Let's just talk a bit about that before.
So I'm going to explain this article. I've got it on here. This guy, who is the GOP legislator.
Yeah.
In where is it? West Virginia.
I don't know a lot about this, but I have seen his face.
Yeah. This guy.
Yeah.
Described the LGBTQ plus community is the modern day version of the Ku Klux Klan, and the gay community was a terrorist group. Now, where the hell have we ever inflicted any hatred on anyone ever? That group. When has the LGBTQ community ever broadcasted hate on any minority?
I don't understand how he could compare the LGBTQ group to the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, we've never ever singled out
this
anyone.
guy. I think I read a bit about him, but I can't be quite sure. But I don't understand how he can. Or the KKK. I don't know how he can compare that.
No, I don't.
The community to that.
He's obviously very much delusional, and he's trying to get people on side about his opinion of that group, of our community. I am totally against racism, terrorism, homophobia,
yeah.
Anything, any kind of hate towards anybody. I'm totally against it. And he said that if his children were to come out gay or lesbian, he would take his daughter out for a pedicure and take her down to the fishing pond and see if she could swim. And he said if his son come out gay, he would take him bowling or something, or fishing, and then he'd see if he could swim. And he said, and the newscaster said, so you would drown your children? And he said, I never said that. I said I'd see if they'd swim. So he's very much stating.
So he's insinuating that.
Yeah, and he is a lawmaker in West Virginia. And I tweeted Donald Trump and the White House about this man and how he's still representing the Republican Party after making disgusting comments about the LGBTQ community and the gay community, and comparing them to a disgusting racist group who inflict hate and prejudice on black people in America and across the world.
Fucking hell. I don't understand how that reporter could sit next to a man that's just embodies hate and evil.
And not really gets me.
What?
He was sitting there fluttering his eyes like he had some kind of disability, right? And he thinks that being gay or lesbian or trans or queer or whatever, he thinks that is an issue. Maybe he should step out of his little delusion and take a look in the mirror, because he's got a lot of issues. His hatred and evilness is having a little impact on his life.
I don't believe in reporters giving this man airtime.
Yeah, I know.
Because at the end of the day, this world is not perfect. There will be people that believe in this man, and by him having this this time on TV will only he's got electric shock, will only increase his backing. And I think men like this should be buried within social media. He should not have the time he's got or the report time that he's been received. Right, because at the end of the day, it's only build. It doesn't matter what he says, because whatever ridiculous thing he's saying, he's going to become more and more powerful. To go back on what you were saying about social media, there's dickheads like this, right? And through the power of social media, anyone can be fucking famous. If you can send out one tweet, right, that one tweet can reach everyone across the world in a matter of seconds, right?
Yeah, not using it for good either.
And that's the one thing in social media that I do not fucking agree with. Is dickheads like this getting the airtime.
See, I've got the quotes here. So this is what he said to this newscaster. He said, "Well, I would dress my daughter first, as I would take her for a pedicure. I'd take her to get her nails done and see if she could swim. If it was my son, I would probably take him hunting. I would take him fishing, then I'd see if he could swim." He continued to grin as the reporter, somewhat shocked, paused, then asked him to clarify. "I just want to make sure they could swim," he repeated when questioned, continuing to grin. Now, does that sound like he's got some kind of mental issue there?
Definitely.
If I was a psychologist reading that or listening to it, I would say, you need help.
I don't understand how this guy could hate his kids so much like that. Even though he's not saying it, he's insinuating it.
And could you imagine if they were? They would never ever tell him, ever.
No, it's just... I just can't believe.
So, let's move away from this subject because...
Yeah.
It's quite a harsh one, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, Valentine's Day. Well, just 5 minutes on this.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. What are your personal thoughts of Valentine's Day? Is it good, bad, or is it over-commercialised?
I think Valentine's Day, it's just a day to capitalise on expressing love for people. But why should you use that one day to show the love and,
I was in a supermarket the other day.
Yeah.
And they had all these Valentine's cards out, right? And they were all specifically for her.
Yeah. So you think it's very one-sided?
It's very,
yeah.
It's very hetero, as the saying is.
Yeah.
Is it different now to when you were in school? Yes. I think Valentine's Day creates a lot of pressure for single people.
Definitely.
And I think they can't go out, they can't step outside their door without seeing some ridiculous card, ridiculous bunch of flowers, and think, oh, I've got no one to buy me that. It's just creating a bigger mental health issue.
Yeah. I think it's a cute holiday, but I think it's been blown out of proportion. I think Valentine's Day, I think it's fine.
I think it's just each their own, to be quite honest with you.
At the end of the day, personally, Valentine's Day doesn't really affect me.
No, it doesn't affect me, but I'm thinking of people that have been, out no love for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And on that day, every year, they've got to go into Asda, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, anywhere, in any store, and they've got to look at this crap that's going to be thrown away the next day.
I think that the idea of Valentine's Day is cool.
I think it's very over-commercialised.
I think that's down to America. But I think it's cool to take one day out of the year to fully express yourself with someone. No matter if you're going out with them, or it's your parents, or it's your friends, or I don't know, your nan, or that person down the street, or whatever. I think it's a cool day. I think it's a cool concept, but I think definitely they need to chill out a bit on marketing, because it's like, even on TV, like Marks and Spencer's were like, buy 2 steaks for the price of 1. Oh, and a bottle of wine. It's like, okay, dude, chill out.
Yeah. So what we want to ask as the last final thing, before we end this, is, do we think that legislator who I've just briefly spoken about, do you think he should be sacked for his homophobic remarks?
Yes, and why isn't he? already.
I want people to comment on this.
Yeah.
Because I think this person is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to leave the link in this description.
Do you know what? To be honest, I don't really want to. Because I don't want to give
should,
this...
so people can read.
How much of a dick this guy
This
is.
I think this is friendly atheist.
Right, what I'll do then is I'll leave the link down in the description of YouTube.
Don't share it though, because...
Don't share it. Just discuss about it and just discuss how big of a dick this guy is. But yeah, we're cutting these episodes down a bit shorter, so it's a bit easier, a bit breezier.
Yeah.
But yeah, talks about a lot of shit today. Let's just summarise. It's good to summarise, right? So we've talked about a lot. We've talked about first impressions, school memories, and a lot of sexuality this episode.
Well, I think our kind of podcasts are going to be based around mental health.
Yeah.
And, some quirky banter and some other, just some fun-loving shit.
Yeah. Hopefully our episodes will be...
And our opinion on certain things.
Yeah, our episodes are going to be a lot about light-hearted shit as well as a lot of, hard-hitting. Yeah. I think it'll be a cool mixture. We're still deciding about structure, but obviously that will come with time.
Yeah, we've certainly done a good...
Yeah, I feel like we actually structured this episode, and I think it's shown somewhat, even though we still go on tangents.
But I think that's good though, isn't it? So
yeah, I've enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed talking about all the different crap, as well as ripping into the dickhead of a guy. But yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.